UN report expressed concern at the level of Afghan drug trafficking and the consequences for countries like Russia. For more on this now, I'm joined by Igor Khokhlov, a political expert at the Institute of World Economy and International Relations here in Moscow. Thank you very much for joining me. So despite some recent declines, Afghanistan still purportedly accounts for some 90% of the world's opium production. Why is this proving so difficult to rein in and control?
Actually, if we talk about organized crime and drug production, it's definitely organized crime. It's a very complex issue. Americans have failed in Afghanistan militarily. Now it's clear, especially after the recent events and the open conflict between Obama and McChrystal, which has revealed the whole complexity of the military issues. Americans have failed to create some kind of stability in the society, and there's tremendous corruption in Afghanistan that fuels that drug production. Brother of President of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, Akhmed Karzai, is reported to be the top drug lord in the country. That's what Americans themselves say. And they are, of course, it's quite reasonable to expect the poppy production only to grow. Now there's been some decline, but due to climatic reasons and due to some kind of agricultural reasons. But next year, if the policy goes on this way, we have to expect the rise maybe 20 to 30% in opium production.
And how has this increase in opium production affected Russia?
Oh, this increase in opium production hits Russia hard. Actually, I've been studying the topic for over a decade, and I have to say that Russian officials are quite effective in fighting drugs. And maybe Russian policy towards drug users and towards drug criminals has proven to be one of the most effective in the world. That's from my point of view. On the other hand, Afghanistan is very close to Russia, and there are countries that are between Russia, that is Kazakhstan, for instance, and drugs come through Kazakhstan into Russia. We don't have a well-built border because former Soviet Union had border control. It was very effective, but now those borders between Russia and ex-Soviet republics, they are not as effective as they used to be in the Soviet period of time, and of course it hits Russia hard.
So picking up from that border control, the head of Russia's drug control service was talking about setting up an anti-narcotics base in Kyrgyzstan. Do you think that'll be effective?
Yes, I think international cooperation is very effective while fighting drug abuse. But to my mind, the basic reason lies in Afghanistan itself. And of course, Americans have contributed very much to increase in drug production, in poppy production, and I think they have to solve that problem first. Without that, it won't be effective.
All right, and very briefly, do you think that anything would be gained from Russia sending in their own troops to help control this trafficking problem?
You know, sending troops in Afghanistan is always a big mistake because the country has been a graveyard for many great armies. The British, the Alexander the Great, the Soviets, and now the Americans.
All right, well, thanks very much, Igor Khokhlov from the Institute of World Economy and International Relations.